1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
Ocala, baby, what makes you look so good? Ocala, baby, what makes you look so good? Why don't you love me like I know you could?
5 minutes after 10 o'clock, beautiful Friday morning. Kelli Hart just made this studio a little bit more beautiful. She's here to talk about Ocala Magazine, and they won a bunch of awards, and I know that because I keep up with the Joneses. I keep up with the Ocala Magazine folks.
Well, we appreciate that. We encourage everybody to do that.
Facebook. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Good to see you again.
Thank you. It's nice to be back. I missed last Friday. Like you say, we went to Orlando for the Florida Magazine Association Awards. There was a conference, so it's a 2-day conference, and then at the end of the conference, you have the
They give out
dinner,
awards.
right?
Wow. Did you bring one in? One of the awards?
No, I didn't. I didn't bring them in.
What is it? A statue? A plaque? What is it?
What it is? It's a nice glass or crystal award, which is very nice. Yeah. So we were really excited to be there, and it was nice that Keith came in and filled in for me Friday.
Keith is great.
He did a great job.
He is great, yeah.
He did a great job.
You gave him a tough subject, too. Did you assign that to him?
Well, he wrote that story.
Oh, about the flag.
About the flag.
Okay, so then it made sense. Of course he did, yes.
Sure, yeah. So he wrote the story. In fact, of course, it's been a very hot topic and controversial, and so he approached me and said, I think that I need to write something on this. And I said, okay, so if you can find a way to get people to talk about it. People talk about a lot of things until you sit down and say, okay, on the record, let's talk about this. And then,
good point.
And then it becomes a little bit more difficult to get people to open up. But he did. He got both sides, and I thought he presented it really well and from a really neutral standpoint, because writers have our feelings about things and our opinions too.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes it can be hard when we get writing to stay
It's one of the
neutral.
beautiful things about radio is you can express opinion.
Right.
Well, you could do it in writing too. But
well, sure.
Typically, that's left to one page.
Right.
The editorial page.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So you just have to be really careful because we have advertisers that we want to make happy, and so sometimes it's like, for example, we were talking about the fact that you see political signs out now, and although we think that we can separate our political beliefs from personal and professional, sometimes it's really difficult, because I know when I have a candidate that I'm really strongly in support of, and then I walk around and I see signs for their opposition in business windows, so my first reaction is to go, do I want to spend my money there? Well, I mean, of course I do. If it's a great business and a great product, I shouldn't, but I think there's just human nature, we kind of do that.
It's kind of like the Target thing, where they've taken away the gender-specific labeling of the children's areas, right? And now people say, I don't want to shop there anymore. And I said, well, why would that stop you from shopping there? I mean, if they've got the lawnmower you want, go get it.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's like Chick-fil-A. When that whole controversy around Chick-fil-A started, I thought, oh no, because I'm a Christian, but I love Chick-fil-A, and I'm also really open-minded and support all kinds of different people's rights. Right. I thought, I just really like their chicken. Well, I'm going to go there.
Well, I think the Christians wanted you to eat chicken there.
Right, but
it was the anti-Christians who didn't want you.
It was the anti-Christians and the and people, the more liberal type people, which I'm in full support of. So I thought, oh my gosh, what do I do?
What do I do?
I'm just going to eat the chicken, and I apologize to anyone that might have offended. But yeah, so
as long as it's free roaming chicken, that's all.
But of course, really, it's the fries. I'm not even going to lie, it's the fries too. But so we have to do the same thing and be really careful when we're writing anything in the magazine, because of course our advertisers, it's a business, and so our advertisers support us, and we don't want to do anything that might create a difficult relationship with those advertisers. So we have to keep all of that in mind. And we also have to keep the awards in mind. So when we start thinking about things to write, we think about what are the judges going to be looking for, and what are the criteria when they're...
How do you know what they're looking for?
Really,
are the judges?
really, we don't. Well, every year it changes. Every year the Florida Magazine Association pulls from a different panel. So it can be educators at universities, it can be writers, past publishers. It's really eclectic, a diverse group of people, and we don't know who they are, of course, because that would be unfair, and we don't know exactly what they're looking for. But it's like anything else. There's kind of a checklist of things. So are we unique? Are we creative? Are we well written and articulated? And
so do they tell you,
everything.
Can you tell us which categories you won in, and maybe that'll give us an idea of what they were looking for?
Sure. So there's tons and tons and tons of categories at the FMA Awards, and there's thousands of publications in Florida, and that's who we're competing against. Every other publication in Florida, every other magazine in the state of Florida. So we won specifically we had writing, we won for writing excellence, we won for photography, excellence in photography, and design, overall design. So, of course, all of those components make up a magazine, because you can't really have a magazine without all three. So,
right.
But there's other categories. So there's online presence. There's a lot of magazines that are digital magazines, or maybe that's kind of their scope is more digital. There's a lot of people that will use video and commercials, or niche magazines. So where we are a city magazine and a consumer magazine, there are magazines that specify in one particular area. So it might just be health, and everything in the book is health related, or children, and everything in there is geared towards moms and children's and such. So it's really exciting to go in and see and meet the people, even though, the truth is we're in competition with one another. When we're up for awards, as fun as it is to meet other writers, I know that these are the people that are trying to get those same awards every single year.
Is it videotaped? Is there a how they show in the Academy Awards, they'll show the 5 faces of the nominees, and then they're all disappointed except for one?
No. Thankfully, because I think everybody is there with anticipation. You work so hard all year, and how do you measure that? So you might read a story that I've written and think it's amazing, and then someone else might read it and think that it's mediocre. And so I'm just hoping that you're a judge and that person isn't. So there were some stories that I wrote within the last year, just like I'm sure there was pictures Chris took within the last year, and layouts that have been designed that we thought were stellar or had the best chance of winning. And of course we entered those things. And then you get surprised sometimes, the things that win, and then you get surprised even the things that win over you. You're like, well, okay, so now I know what the judges are looking for. But you do read those things. You read and you look at the things that won first place in all the categories. If you didn't win first place, and you think, okay, well then now I know. But see, next year it could be totally different. So I think you just really have to do your best and understand what to you is your best and what's most creative to you, and just write with that passion and hope that the judges, that comes through when the judges look at it. But Chris did phenomenal. So we won those 2 awards for photography and then 2 for design. And although design is its own thing, it's really only possible when you have such amazing photography. It makes the job of our creative director, Phil Durlam is our creative director, makes his job so much easier when he's working with phenomenal photography. Was there one article that you won for specifically that you can help us remember the article? Sure. So the Writing Excellence Award that I won was for the story. It was called Dear John, and it was a story on suicide, and it was written too long ago. And in writing that was really difficult, and I was met with some opposition even in writing that from the young man's family after it came out. They weren't
I remember that
necessarily happy about it until I spoke to them and told them my motivation for it, and obviously it was to motivate people to create a dialogue to save some lives. And so then when it won, I guess it kind of just reassured me that, when I debated on whether or not to write about such a sensitive topic, and to share some of the facts around that I'm glad I moved forward with that. I'm glad I followed my heart on that and moved forward with that, because it's such a big deal and remains such a big deal. So, but it was very exciting. It was exciting to see, we had one of our covers won. It was last year's October Medical Advances issue, which is what we're already working on that for this year. And I don't know if you recall, but we talked about the vampire facelift, and we had the young lady
I do remember.
Vampire,
I do remember.
Beautiful blonde on the cover.
Yeah.
Vampire with the syringe.
And you went through one of those procedures, right?
Yes.
With the blood on your face or something?
Right. So I did that, you know, well over a year ago. So it's a lot of fun to go along and decide what we're going to enter and to see what everyone else is entering. And, you know, I'm sure it's just like you when you hear other talk show hosts and things and you watch them and you think, you know, I really like what they're doing and I hadn't thought about this. And then you get all these great ideas and you try to pick up on those yourself.
We will take a little break and we'll be right back.
Early tonight, then partly. The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating, no accidents. Sunshine followed by increasing clouds today. The shower and thunderstorm in some areas this morning, then a couple of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, some with flooding downpours. The high today, 87 to 91. A shower and thunderstorm around early tonight, then partly cloudy later tonight, though 72 to 76. For tomorrow, partly sunny with a couple of afternoon thunderstorms, the high 87 to 91. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood, and when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then, I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
It's rodeo time in Ocala. The Great Ocala Shrine Rodeo stampedes back to town September 4th and 5th, 7:30 nightly. Witness America's #1 sport and the greatest show on dirt as cowboys ride to help children walk. 33 years of broncs, bulls, and bays. For tickets and information, call 352-402-8808. September 4th and 5th. Don't miss the Ocala Shrine Rodeo.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
And here's an incredibly simple and effective way to achieve even your biggest goals. You write it down, you sign it, and then date it and put it on your fridge or your bedside. Ice cream or gelato? I say it's a tie, but ounce for ounce, experts say gelato is better. It has fewer calories and less sugar than ice cream. How would I feel if another man complimented my girlfriend or wife this way? If you would feel threatened, keep the compliment to yourself.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
18 minutes after 10 o'clock. Kelli Hart is here from Ocala Magazine. This segment of the program is called Ocala Magazine Radio, and it sounds exciting. It's exciting where you work. You like? I mean, I know you like it, but is it always exciting as you make it seem, or does it get compacted into the radio show to make it seem that way?
No, I mean...
And by the way, Linda looked really good in the photographs. Is she...
Oh, Linda looks great.
Is it okay that I ask this? Has she lost weight or something? She looks really good.
Well, you know, she's... over the last at least 2 years that I've been there, you know, seems to be progressively losing weight, and it's like she's frozen in time or something. Yeah, she's doing something right. She is. When you ask about, is it always exciting? I mean, it is. I guess if you're an accountant and you just absolutely love accounting and numbers and money.
Can't imagine that.
I can't either. I couldn't even think about doing that for you know, a day, much less for my life. But I guess if you just really love what you do, even the stressful times are exciting to you because you know it's just part of the process. Because we have a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. You know, we do photo shoots. We act silly when, you know, we do behind the scenes photos, and we try to share those out, you know, after the publications come out, and we do have a lot of fun. But there are a lot of stresses involved because, you know, it all comes back to the fact that it is a business like any other business. So we have to maintain good professionalism and customer service, we deal with advertisers. They are our clients, and just like any other business, our goal is to keep them happy and to do exactly what it is that they want us to do for them. And there are times where we may fall short. And so, like any other good business, we make it right, we build those relationships, and so it can be very stressful. You know, there's a lot of deadlines that we're up against, and you know, there's other publications in town that people can opt into over our magazine, and so we understand that, and that's why we try to set ourselves apart and set the bar a lot higher, so that people's advertising dollars make sense when they choose Ocala magazine. So yeah, it can be very stressful, but because we love it so much, it's just kind of part of the process. And so it's exciting. It's exciting for us. And so then to get awards, of course, it makes it all make sense, you know, for us. So when we win for certain things, Chris won for a great photo essay that we did last year in our September Arts issue. It's called Out of Hand. And we sat there for quite some time trying to come up with a concept. What can we do for a photo essay for art that's not just your cliche, a picture of an artist or a picture of a painting? And so we came up with this idea where we would photograph artists doing their craft, but we would only focus in on their hands. So whether it was playing music or sculpting or painting, we would really only focus in on their hands because it's kind of the tool. And so he did it, he captured it beautifully, it was laid out beautifully, and so Chris won an award for that. And,
nice.
and yeah, but a lot of work went into that. And at the time, you don't know if what you're doing makes sense. Does it make sense that we're just shooting their hands? You know, some of these people didn't have nice hands. The people that we were photographing, well, should I get my hands done? My nails done?
Nice hands.
Yeah, I mean, some of them.
Well,
some artists
everybody's
don't.
not a hands model, right?
And some artists, their craft, part of the process is rough.
Absolutely,
you know, rugged hands, and so we're like, no, don't do anything you wouldn't do otherwise. We want to capture that tool doing it. And so when something wins, and you sit there and you think, you remember that? Gosh, remember we weren't sure if we should do it, and how hard it was to get everybody lined up, and we weren't sure which photos to use. So when it wins first place, like, yeah, okay, we were right on that. It made sense to us, and so it's just it's very fun.
On the stage? I'm assuming there's a stage.
There is a stage.
Do they project imagery behind the speaker? Okay.
So it's a lot of fun. So they have a beautiful overhead projector and a white screen, and so as people are winning, they'll put whatever it might be. So if it was a single photograph, it goes up there. If it was a cover, so not only are you getting to see your work and everyone else's, but you're also getting to see the other things that are winning. And so you start thinking, okay, I'm seeing a pattern. Maybe, you know, last year we saw a lot of the things that won seemed to be patriotic in nature. And so we're like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's the theme. You know, just like anything else, just like fashion or design or anything else, there's trends, and there's trends in magazines, and it's up to us to keep up with those things. And
how would you
trends
know?
in radio, and I guess we're on the pulse of things. You know, we usually, if something is really hot nationally, it's probably hot here, maybe obviously on a much smaller scale, but we just try to keep tapped into that kind of stuff.
Sometimes a step behind, and maybe now and then a step ahead. I'm sure there's been times where we were the leader of the pack.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems as of late some things have sparked here and gone national, like the photograph of the police officer that was sitting down, you know, having lunch with the homeless person. And, you know, so someone snaps the picture and it goes on Facebook, just like we do all the time, and next thing you know, it's being talked about
Much rather see something like that go national than
something positive.
Something
that was really awesome.
Yeah,
I thought that was amazing, very powerful. And so, of course, we'll talk more and brag a little bit more about our awards, because it's special to us, but we know it's only happening through the support of our community. So we really give thanks to the community for the fact that we're even able to do our job to win these types of awards. So we'll obviously be talking more about that throughout the year, and working, of course, already towards next year's. But our August issue is out, and it is it's got quite a few layers of different types of topics, focused mainly on luxury. It's our luxury issue.
Is this the one with Dr. Lang in it?
Yes, and isn't his home phenomenal?
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, I had an opportunity I guess it was Christmas Eve or something. He invited us over there, and I was blown
just
away.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
beautiful. And I love
Did you
that
get to go
section.
into the house?
I didn't go to this particular photo shoot. Sometimes I do, depending on what my schedule allows. But I was just overwhelmed when I saw the photos. And I love that. I love this section of the book because I think people do have a genuine curiosity for how people live.
Right,
I know I do.
right,
When
right.
there's people that I know in the community. I'm like, I wonder what her house looks like, and not because I'm judging her based off of it. It's just I think you get this idea based on a person's personality.
When they've got their shoes off and their feet up, where are they?
Sure.
What does it look like?
Yeah, when they go home to their little place of peace and tranquility, what's it look like?
Right.
And so I think we just have that curiosity, and so it's fun to reach out to people in the community and for them to allow us in their home to photograph it. And then not only that, but to point out special little unique things in their home that are special to them. And it's like Dr.
Do you know what I
said,
liked about the pictures was seeing Mackenzie and oh gosh, I can't remember his son's name now, Logan, because we knew them. We knew Logan when he was real little, and we knew we knew Mackenzie the day she was born.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, so it was kind of cool just because I haven't seen them in so long.
Yeah,
So-
it's fun. I mean, what it does, I think, is it reminds you that these people in our community that work hard every day, our doctors and our lawyers and
Yeah,
our attorneys and such, that they go home too and take their shoes off and put on their t-shirts and watch TV or do board games or cook dinner or clean toilets or whatever it is they do. It's nice sometimes to remind ourselves that they work really hard and they have serious jobs in the community, but they go home and they have fun too, just like everybody else.
We would hope so, right?
Yeah. And so that's a lot of fun. There's so many really interesting layers to the book, and I hope that every month when people go out and they grab a copy and they flip through, that they appreciate the thought that goes into it, because there is a lot of strategy that goes into not only what we put in there, but where we put it and how we put it and at what time and what month we put it. And so we're always thinking, because we want to work for our community. We want to work for our advertisers, obviously. We want their dollars to go far. We want their advertising to work for them. But, we want people to pick up the book and when they put it down, feel like they were touched in some type of way. Maybe it was something comical. Maybe it was just an event they read about that they now want to go to and experience with their family. Or maybe it was a full-blown feature that educated them on something they otherwise didn't know. But we certainly are blessed to have the jobs that we do. I mean, it just, you as well.
It is the thing that brings the community together, is the media.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know about other people in town unless it's the media.
Sure.
I mean, we do have Facebook nowadays, but can you imagine, it wasn't that long ago we didn't have that.
I know.
And the only way I would know about it, except in Dr. Lang's case, because we had the opportunity to be in there, but or anything, and thought-provoking things as well, like the flag, and taking the neutral position the way Keith did. So
yeah, he's very, very good at doing that. And it was nice. One of the speakers at the conference reminded us that as much as people are loving social media and the internet, that they still would prefer to hold and flip through the pages of a book, or to hold and flip through the pages of a magazine. So that was really reassuring, because sometimes you think, gosh, would someone rather read this online? But
not me. I mean,
no.
I think the
and
online
not the
thing is
majority.
cool, but there is something. What's the word? Tactical or kinetic
Tactile?
or something? Yeah, tactile.
Yeah, I mean, people prefer it, and so it was nice to hear that. So it reaffirmed that in us and what we do. So we want to encourage everybody to pick up the August issue. Also, like us on Facebook. Every December we announce our Best of the Best award winners, and that becomes a process for the months leading up to that. So we've already put some information out on our Facebook page about that. We want to hear from the community and get some unique ideas for new categories. So if you like us on Facebook, you'll get all of the upcoming information about Best of the Best, so that you don't miss that, because we know that's everybody's favorite time of year to find out who is the best. So thanks for having me, Larry. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend.
Thank you, Kelly. Be careful out there.
Oh, yes. Don't text and drive.
We'll be right back.
The rock and roll is gonna suit my soul. I don't care about no rock and jive. Just wanna be your man tonight. Oh, Ocala, baby, what makes you look so good?
Truly a mood. John Kerry becomes the first